Hello, beautiful souls. So let me pull my notes and we're going to get started. We're going to be talking about reincarnation in the turn of what are the soul gifts and training that we bring with us for us to be able to accomplish this mission here for this lifetime. And we are also going to be talking about a little bit on parallel lives and how um, information that I have received some channeling with in regards to it's all going to make sense at the end of the day, but hopefully you can stay for the whole once you watch the video. Maybe you break it down into part if we go too long, but hopefully no more than an hour because I do have another commitment. um Let me just make sure that I pull my notes because it's a lot of information that I want to be very specific on, just so that it is clear. If you're into, if you have done in Akashi reading, some of this information you could get it through an Akashi reading. For those that are looking for a more occult information, you might not be able to get it through an Akashi reading if the person is not experienced with what we're talking about, but they soul gifts and trainings that you should be able to get with Akashi reading. So let's see. What else I want to say is um, I'll try to break it the most simplistic way that I can, but it might be a little confusing because normally this type of information, if you see it in a like a graph or a table, it might make more sense. But I'll try to break it down the easiest way that I can so that we can have hopefully a conversation about this. So let me start with um, let me start by we all know what reincarnation is, correct? We all know that at one point we were part of source. We're still part of source. Source decides to break away into little pieces, and all these fractals become different souls. These souls go into different planets, different constellations, and eventually some of us end up here, and we're here now. So that's like the quickest way that I can say it. So in between all of those experiences in different planets, in different dimensions, different realms, we accumulate a lot of experience and knowledge. So when we come to this lifetime, especially if you're here listening to this, is because you're a priest or priestess in any of the occult practices, whether it is Santeria, Ifa, Palo, 21 Division, Voodoo, Hoodoo, Wicca, whatever it is, right? Spiritismo, you have a hunger for spirituality. And that's why you're probably watching this video. So I'm going to assume that you know some of those basic things. So I'm not going to go too much into them. So let's just get started with the soul trainings. Yeah, let's start with the soul training, and then we're going to the different gifts that we bring forward for this life, depending on how much experience we have accumulated in other dimensions and realms and planets. So the first one is the third order. Let me just start with the third order. And some of these things you might see them in different Netflix video shows, series, because, and they might be very interesting to you because they have truth to them. I think a lot of people don't realize that most of those shows, people, those directors pay a lot of money to people, writers that are doing a lot of DMT and stuff like that to get this information, or talking to people that have this knowledge, and then obviously they kind of embellish the whole thing to make it more interesting and exciting, but at the end of the day the core principle is the same. So the third order is a soul training. It is associated with those people that are comfortable transitioning death, transitioning spirits We all spirits, but we are here living a human experience. But when we die, we have to go through a transition phase, and we have spoken about that in several videos. So the people that are in the third order, they're comfortable transitioning people, spirits that have transitioned from this human experience or from another planet, whatever experience they're having, and they have to transition to the next phase. So the third order people are those people that are very comfortable with that. They tend to be, obviously, they're going to be more in tune with espiritismo and any of those occult practices, because it is part of their training. It's part of what they have been training for, potentially for many, 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 many years, many different lifetimes. So they're very comfortable in the afterlife, and they understand at a deep level. These people, we understand that death is just a transition. It doesn't mean the end. And it might take some of these people very traumatic childhood, because they have seen it from the beginning. They have seen it since they were young. So they have might been traumatized by seeing different entities, disembodied beings that have transitioned from this plane, and that are stuck or that are coming with messages. And they, obviously, these kids, they get very traumatized. So some of these people might come back to this gift, and open up to this gift later in life. I have shared my experience, and this reminds me, and this is one of my trainings, and this reminds me of me, because I was very traumatized, and I have spoken to a lot of people, a lot of clients too, that have been traumatized at a very young age. Parents didn't know, or they didn't know how to handle it, so it becomes a traumatized experience that they eventually can come back and nurture. So it's easier for them to pick it up like this, because, or when it comes and hits them hard, because it's part of their nature. Like it really is. These souls have the mediumship abilities that are natural. They have to work to practice, because like any training, any ability, you have to nurture that ability. But it comes so easily. They might be talking and seeing things. They're having another conversation here, and people think it's just a human to human, and they don't realize they're having conversation with different entities while they're talking to you. So it becomes very I mean, to me, it's one of the most exciting things. They can pick up on astral entities, and they can actually communicate easily with those entities. Now, the people that have this training, they do have a hard time sometimes understanding that they don't have to engage with every entity that comes through to them. And why do I say this? Is because this is a warning to a lot of us, including myself. I know that for a long time I entertained entities just because I wanted the experience, and I didn't realize how bad that could be. Especially those that are mediums of, that can actually be like a caballo de misterio, or a caballo de muerto, or actually what you call medium. Um, in English, I think it's called cost median or casual median, where you give materia to the entities that come through. And a lot of those entities are entities that don't have the highest good, and they're trickster spirits. So you have to be careful to allow that to happen, because what happens is, then they all talk just like we do here. And it's almost like, I don't know if they have internet, because it's like once one knows, everybody else knows, and next thing you know, you can have a line out of your house for people, the entities, to come and talk to you. So you do have to be careful with that. You have to learn that you don't have to engage with everything that comes, all the astral entities that come your way, because that could be complicated for you or your family members that live in the same house with you, or that are energetically very attached to you, because all of those attachments are easily to be spot on the astral planes. So that's just a warning for some of you guys. What else can I say about this group? They if you want to help earthbound spirits to cross over. You have to learn to do this properly, because otherwise you could create a situation where you house a lot of these entities in your home, and then your home become a portal for these things. So just a warning. So that is the third order. It is those people that are very comfortable with death and transitions, because they know, they see the afterlife, they know that it's not the end, they have mediumship abilities, they're very easy, very good to speak on astral entities, to know and identify astral entities. And the main warning is to just don't overdo and learn to set boundaries. Then we have the life review counselors, the life, counselor, right? That's quick. Life review counselors are very natural born counselors. They're great at listening. They have many natural talents involved in the healing of listening and holding space. They're very intuitive, because to hold space, you have to be very intuitive. You have to be able to know and listen for the clues so that you can ask the right questions. So it's not just listening, but knowing to pick the hints that they're giving you, because they might not want to say something until you're ready to understand them. So when you're ready to understand them, then you ask a question and you become um, a better person by holding space and create a sacred space for people to be able to be vulnerable and sharing all of that stuff. So these people, the life review counselors, are very naturally gifted with this. They tend to be easily liked by many people, because they have to have that ability to be able to create a nurturing relationship with people, rich, poor, white, black, native, whoever it is, people of the street, people that are maybe, dogs and didn't have a good life, or people that are very professional. So these people are very, they're like natural um, psychotherapists. They just know how to do that naturally, and it becomes like, wow, like I feel so good after talking to you. And it's because they already have a lot of training in this, in the higher planes. It's not just from this life. So life review counselors, again, they tend to have people that quickly trust them. People naturally trust them, and they know they are safe with them, that they can share things and they're not going to be judged harshly by what they saying and the experiences that they have. Then we have one of my favorites. I don't know why it's one of my favorites. I think it's because it reminds me of some TV show. I think how you pronounce this is the Rishis, the Rishis. Let me write it here for you, because I know some of you guys are going to want to go and look at this. I think this is um Sanskrit, or some. I think it is Sanskrit maybe. um these people are like, the elders that have so much wisdom and knowledge. They just very, like, they have eons of life and trainings, and these people tend to be very old souls, because you have to have a lot of wisdom and knowledge, and to have all that wisdom and knowledge, you have to have so much experience. So these people that are the rishis, or rishis, however we pronounce that, they tend to have an advisory role um, in anything that they do, because they do have a lot of wisdom and knowledge and insight that allows them to quickly advance and quickly go through what people will consider then extremely wise. But that's because they have a lot of experience in the higher planes with this. So obviously, to have those positions, a lot of the time you're going to have those qualities of the life review counselors that naturally have to fall in place in order for you to become a rishi. So you will have similar characteristics to the life review counselors, because you have to be very good at listening as well, non-judgmental, and you have to be very good at being detached from people's dramas and situations. Like, I know, like, and I always like to use myself because, it's just the easiest to use myself, but I tend to become very attached to my clients and I want to see them do great. And then I feel bad if they don't. Well, that's a problem. So some of these people might have that problem too, because they need to learn to overcome that quickly in order for them to advance and be able to help more people. So the rishis, they have so much wisdom and knowledge. They have this neutral perspective on things. The yin and yang, they see right in between the gray. Every, like, they don't, it's no yes or no, it's in the middle for them, and they tend to be able to be neutral and see the different things in order for them to be like, oh, okay, I can see how that's possible. So they have to be very detached. They don't need to attach to people's dramas and outcomes. They understand the core lessons of life and the soul's evolution, that is not good or bad, is everything in between. And when you're at the extreme, that's actually not a good thing. So they see that the gray in between the good and bad is what counts as the need for the soul to continue its evolution process. I hope that makes sense. The fifth order. So we talked about the third order, and now we're going to talk about the fifth order. The fifth order people, they, similar to the rishis, they can quickly see in between and adapt quickly to different circumstances. They can shift their vibrational wheel. These people are rainbow aura people. They can merge and blend with everything. These people, can be friends with anybody, just like the life review counselor, but these people take it to the next level, where they are so empathic and they can actually feel your pain. They might be able to hear what other people hear, feel what other people are feeling, and transmute that for you. For, like, if you're one of them, you could be doing that for other people. They can shift the vibrational wheel. Therefore, their aura is a rainbow aura, because in order for you to shift that vibration, you have to have that rainbow aura. So when you do, I've been thinking about getting in aura imaging for my hypnotherapy practice, because I believe that that information is key for people to be able to see where they are. Because sometimes when you tell them, they don't understand it, but when they see it in a picture, they're like, "Oh, okay." Well, it's the same thing. Like if you go to an Akashi reader, or if your spiritists can do the aura reading, they will be able to tell you what color they can see and all of that and stuff. And that way you can see, depending on the colors, what are some of your strength. Where for the fifth order, their strength is that they have rainbow aura, so they have different colors and they can blend with different things. And this is one of the main things. And because of that, they can easily go and transport themselves in the astral planes and do astral projection. If you're into any of the occult practices, you know what that means. So I'm not going to go into that. So, okay, so the restoration people, the restoration elders are very idealistic. You see these people that are yes and no in hardcore. The restoration people are those people that are not happy with just like, they're happy when things are perfect. They're perfectionists, and because of that, they need to balance their ideals. They need to be very careful and need to balance their ideals, because it's complicated for them, because they don't know the gray. They only see the yin and yang and nothing in between. So they tend to be very dissatisfied with some things of how things are. They could be very humanitarian because they are so passionate, and they could be like those people that are like activists and stuff like that, and like they're always fighting for other people's right, and because they have that idealistic, like everything has to be perfect, if they're into politics or into animal rights or something like that. And we need those people, because we need people like that for some other people like us not to worry about stuff like that. So these people help us by doing the part that we don't want to do. So if you're one of them, thank you. So the restoration elders, They just very idealistic, very humanitarian. They tend to be those that come to restore the blueprint. So when you are having downloads and you're dreaming and you're seeing that blue ion, like eon colors, the grid, when you're going through an activation, if you know what I'm talking about, please put it in the comments. Those people tend to come to help restore the blueprint of Earth. So they're very key. We got to give them thank you, because you have to have people like that in order to restore. Whenever people do too much in one side of the planet, those people are sending mass energy, and together that energy is realigning the whole gray lines, um, ley lines. And when that happens, then we go back to restoration. That's why they're called the restoration elders or restoration masters. Now we also have the incubators. The incubators are those souls, and they're like parents, like they are parents of nature, parents of animals, trees, anything that you can think of that needs a parental role. These people are not naturally gifted with this, because they have those nurturing abilities to become that energetic parental figure to any of those people that they take under their wings. So they love nature or plants or animals or people or kids or elders, whatever their thing is, they're going to become a parental, like a parental role within whatever groups they're in. So often you're going to find these people love working with children and nurturing children, or working in the rescue animals places, or something that is going to talk to their soul. And what they're doing is exchanging energy, and the energy that they're missing, the things that those people are missing, or plants or animal, those people are almost like infusing those things with their energy. So it's key for them to have balance, and to, you know, really work on themselves so that they share the right energies. The dreams masters, I think we talked about the dream masters before, because I do talk a lot about dreams. um, these people are naturally gifted in the astral planes. They volunteer in the astral plane to help other people, other beings, to transition, to even in their dream they might be doing work for family and friends, community workers, who knows. And they're just helping them, because those people might not have the right skills to help themselves. So if there is something that they need help, and these people can help them with at a higher level, not at the lower you level, at the higher level, those people will go into those um, people's dream and help them. And you might remember some of those dreams, you might not, depending on how advanced you are with your lucid dreaming. And that's why it's important to keep note of your dreams, so that you can remember some of these things. Then we have the council members, and I'm going to try to speed it up, I know it's taking a long time. Council members, obviously council, right? They're counseling souls. So they love to they, you know, the council member may be any of the ones that we talked about before, but they come at a higher training already. So they already have more training in order for them to become a council member in any of the things that we already talked about, in any of the other gifts that we talked about, the trainings that we talked about. So these people will vary depending on their main trainings, and the council means is a step up. So they might be doing research here for specific things, so they might become very interested in science or computer politics. Pick something, they might become super interested and become very advanced in it, because they come with previous training. And what they're doing is they're just adding more to the list of things that they're learning, so that they become like researcher for those people that are at a higher plane, and they're giving information to the council about what they're experiencing here. So you might go through, I don't know, let's say that you want to experience how to work in a specific practice. You might go into that specific occult practice to acquire more information. And then you're naturally every night passing that information to the council group so that you can analyze and figure out what is going on with this group and how to get them to the next level or whatever it is. Or it might be plants. Why are these plants going extinct? And then you pass that information, and there is a lot of communication with the higher council, and you here as a human. So some of these people might experience um, feelings of feeling like they have been adopted when, like alien adoption, when they were young or something like that, because since very little they've been doing that. And I do encounter people that come for quantum healing because they feel like, oh my God, I think I was abducted. And it's because of this. The, most of the time, they're part of the council group and they're giving information, they're collecting information. The Let's see, there is a group, I forgot the name of the group of one of the trainings, is something about ethics or like being extremely principled to the point where they're acquiring information about morality, integrity, different principles, right? These people do have one main thing that they need to overcome. And this thing that they need to overcome is in regards to this chakra here, the throat chakra. And these people may have a lot of issues with this chakra because until they align themselves with what they came here to do, this chakra is going to be problematic for them for many, many years. They might become very judgmental, confused, doubtful. It's a beautiful training, but it requires a lot of balance with this chakra, a lot of cleansing, a lot of nurturing, speaking the truth, really just learning occult information about this chakra is going to be key for these people. If you're one of them, or one of them, or if you have experienced a lot of issues with this chakra, lying, gossiping, just creating unnecessary drama, then you might have this training that you came here to do, but instead of doing what you came here with the training, you're not understanding, so you might be creating unnecessary trauma, and therefore you might need to go through a lot of healing in this area. We also have the neutral training. The neutral training are those people that are neutral, and they're just like the hippies, like peacemakers, like they everything is like peace and harmony and joy and beauty, and like they're just like neutral, like chill, life is okay, the plan is going to be okay. We need people like that too, because we have the other group that is so principle and judgmental, and they can become those things if they're not in balance. And then we need the people that are neutral, that they really do bring that energy and distribute that energy. But the problem with these people is that sometimes they might be refusing to get too passionate about something because they just want to be, it's okay, it's okay. So they do have, every group has positive and negatives, and the negatives are things that we need to overcome so we can align ourselves. We also have those people that are explorers, like they just love adventure and like experiencing different things. And this is a great quality for those people that need to go into different, like I know some people that, oh my God, I have to go to Egypt, I have to go to Rome, I have to go here, I have to go to Guatemala. And it's because they have to come there and bring that energy. And when they're touching things, they might be activating things because they come with those gifts. Those people love nature, they love hiking and who knows what, um, whatever you can think of that is adventurous, they're going to be willing to do it, open to do it. They're fearless. They're just like too much energy. They just want to be out there and be free. But one of the key things is when they go to different places, they're also by touching and being there, just by being there, they are giving the energy that they came here to give to those specific places. So it may sound like it's not a lot, but it's a lot. They, like that's part their curiosity brings them to these places because their soul comes with energy that needs to be given to those places. And then we have um master of design, whether it is structural, like engineering, computer, whatever. And then we have the one that is more about plants and botany, like learning about the chakra system, learning about the plants, learning about animals, empath, and so on. So those are the basic, no basic, they're very important soul trainings that we come with in order for us to accomplish this life mission here now. So now we're going to talk about the gifts that we come with when we reincarnate. Every time that we reincarnate, we go to the school when we transition, we go through the healing, we go through those schools and we're learning things. And so, in quantum healing, what we see sometimes when we go to that place where the soul is learning new things is that they're getting ready for the new whatever it is that they're going to do next. So I'm trying to remember the there was a client that ended up in the school, and she was in the school, she was learning things that had to do with other planets. So she wasn't coming back to earth, she was going to another place. And then eventually when she came here, we went there because that experience that she had helped her for that life in that other planet, but it was more knowledge. So that planet was like a school, because here she was going to be using the knowledge that she got from the astral school and the other planet school. So let's see. So the soul trainings are the easiest way that I can explain the soul trainings are the different chakra system. The soul trainings correspond to a chakra um, energy center. That energy center, believe it or not, has so much information and requires so many different trainings in the higher planes, in the what we call archangelic realms. In the archangelic realms, and if you're in the Awakening the Healer video program, you will see that we talked about this before. But anyways, for those that are not in the program, that's why we're doing this. The archangelic trainings, gifts that you come with, the gifts are very specific to the different chakras that we have, from the root all the way to the crown. And there are more, but we're just going to focus on the main 7. The first one, the root chakra, what a lot of people, when we do Akasha reading, we might call them by these names. But when you're in occult practice, and this is where it gets interesting, when you are in an occult practice, you will notice, depending on which practice, occult spiritual practice you're in, that the same information is equivalent to what you might be receiving with a different name. So if you understand what I'm saying, is it's a different name, but it's the basic information behind it. It's going to help you understand the soul training, the gifts that you bring, and how to unite that with the information that you get from your padrino, madrina, godparents, right? In whatever practice you practice, because it's going to be different for everybody. So let's start with the root one. The root chakra, Aurelite, is what we call the first chakra training gift that we come with. The Aurelite people, and later I'm going to tell you something that is going to be crazy, because what a lot of people won't know is that some of us come with all of these energy centers already as a gift, as gifts that we have access to. Some people might have five, some people might have three, some people might have two. The more the more advanced you are as a soul, the more likely it is that you might have five, six, or seven, or eight of these things. And we're only going to talk about the first seven. There are more. And if you're into any other cult practices and you're initiated, you know what I'm talking about. So, Arielite people are the root chakra. And when you think about the root chakra, I want you to pull everything to the side and just listen to this, and then you can put together the information that you have from other sources and your knowledge from the chakras. They are like people for Angel Uriel, by the way. Is very bring a lot of gifts. The soul gifts that these people bring are patience, nurturing, connection to nature, very a lot of easy to ground. Like you can become really good at grounding. 1 second, you're grounded. Protected of Gaia because, right, you're very connected to Gaia. Sometimes very tolerant, which could be good or bad, and compassionate. These people have issues with boundaries because they might be too patient, too much of a nurture, too tolerant, too compassionate. So learning to put boundaries in place for these people is key. Please let me know if you have any questions. I have a cold, so I need to drink a lot of water. Um, no, okay, so the biggest thing for these people is they have to spend time outside to renew their energy, to transmute and cleanse their energy, transmute, release, whatever you want to call it. And when they're outside, just meditating, you can easily go into a trance because this is one of your main soul training, soul gifts. So it becomes when you're outside, you renew yourself. And then we have the Sakilite. The Sakilite for Archangel Sakiel. Some people might know Sakiel as Tzikiel, Ezekiel, or Sakiel. And these people are very good providers. They have easy access to material success if they want to. They have an ability to make things happen, to manifest that material success. If you're not in alignment, you might have an issue with it because you're not in alignment. But once you align it, it will be easy for you to acquire that success. They love the spiritual because it comes, it's like the think of the Sakilites as the like the cosmic womb that we talked about before. They have that interest in the spirit realm because they know there is more to life than this. So people that have a lot of Arielite might not be so much into the spirit realm like the Sakilites because the Arielites are more about here, the present, the Gaia, the moment, that existence. Whereas the Sakilites, they have more balance with their spiritual life, unlike the Arielites. I think these days, though, it's hard to find people that are just in the lower chakras because we have so many people that are like, if you're here, you probably have one of those chakras energy gifts, but you have some of the higher chakras too as a gift because those people that are Ori lines and Saki lines and even the Sophie lines, they tend to be very much worried about just this life. The Saki lines are more in tune with the spirituality than the Ori lines because it corresponds to the root, to the sacral chakra. So there is that innate um, interest into things that they know is beyond here. They're more balanced. But the problem with the Sakylites is that even though they know there is more than this life, there's so much into the material success that they can become easily greedy and have a lot of challenges with that. And when they go through their awakening, they tend to have a lot of problems with this, because it's like, whoa, like, what are you talking about? And all this that I have worked for is not what it is for. And they go through that and it becomes problematic sometimes. So they do have to learn to balance the spiritual with the physical, and that may take some time. Sometimes they have a lot of money issues because, power is one of the things that they have to overcome for this life. Meaning that in another life, they overuse their power, and in this life, they have to overcome that problem, because they might be super worried at a soul level that they may become too greedy, even though they might not know it consciously. Their soul knows it, and it becomes like a friction. So these people have to be very good. They have to find a balance in order for them to be able to do what they have to do here. Excuse me. And then the Sophialites, for Angel Sophiel, these people, the solar plexus is very much a big deal for this, obviously, because it is the solar plexus energy center. They tend to bring a lot of honesty and fairness to them, a lot of harmony, that they like that harmony. They can walk into a room and create harmony just by being there. They bring balance with them because they it's one of their gifts. So this balance that they bring, it emanates outside, so they can influence easily the people around them. They find a lot of beauty. They might be very artistic. They might be writers, singers, artists. They just have a unique way to see things that creates harmony to the people around them. So therefore they can become very, very, they are naturally creative, very artistic, very talented, but they can also become good mediators and counselors as well. Now the problem with these people that are Sophilites is that they can take too long to make decisions. So they're waiting for the right perfect thing, and sometimes that's a problem for these people. The perfection is a problem. They want everything to be perfect, and there is no such thing. So they might put projects off. They might not finish what they start. They might not become very well known as an artist or writer or whatever it is, because they're waiting for someone to recognize that is perfect. And it's like there is no such thing. So to bring that balance, they have to remember it is beautiful the way it is. Let me just release it. Let me just let it be. Let me just, let go of this perfection. So that is a major problem that they have. And then we go into the higher chakras. Obviously, those are the ones that I love the most. But the other ones have to be in alignment, especially if you are into the occult, or as a human, right? Like everything has to be in alignment. So then we go into what we know as Raphaelites, the Raphaelites for Archangel Raphael, the healer. These people are natural born healers, and they're very empathic. They accept people for who they are, how they are. They tend to be selfless, very much in tune with their heart, very caring for their family and friends and others. They're just naturally gifted at being healers, and through their empathy, they can be healing other people through their acceptance, they allow other people to heal by being with them and so on. Now, the problem with these people is, and this is a problem that a lot of priests and priestesses have, is we care for everybody else except ourselves. So these people do tend to have issues with taking care of themselves. They tend to overgive, and sometimes people take advantage of that. So learning to set boundaries is important. And they can they can they can heal everyone, but they have to learn to choose who they heal. I know it sounds crazy, but you're not supposed to heal everybody. People have to be ready to heal, and sometimes they don't know how to respect those limits, and they might overdo it. So these people have to learn to respect other people's boundaries too, because they could easily overdo it. Anyways, then we have Archangel Gabriel, so the Gabrielites. For so the Raphaelites are the heart chakra, and we talked about the heart chakra for many hours in the video program in YouTube. Anyone that talks to me, they know, like, that's one thing that there is no way to go around it. And you can see why, because in order for you to awaken your healing abilities, you have to have the fourth chakra, the heart chakra, completely balanced, clear, balanced, and activated. So Raphaelites are the heart energy center. These are the gifts that they bring from the heart center. And then we're going through the throat chakra, the throat energy center, which is what some people might call Gabrielites. The Gabrielites are those that are naturally born teachers. They're good communicators. They have a passion for learning and teaching. The problem is that they can become too opinionated. Does that sound like someone? Or too preachy? My son says, "Stop preaching to me." I'm like, "Oh my goodness, I'm preaching again." But the point is that these people, they can become really good at explaining things that are very complicated, and somehow they can break it down very simply. And people might say, "Oh, that was super simple," but they don't understand how they know things that are very complex, and they learn to break it down to very chunk size so people can understand them. So again, these people, they need to find the right outlet to express themselves. Otherwise, they can be preaching to the wrong group, basically. They have to express themselves authentically, um, and find the right group, because it's part of, if you come with this gift, part of your mission is to share what you know. And to share what you know, you have to have the right group in mind. Like, you have to pick the right group, because otherwise it can create a lot of more drama for yourself. So not every group is going to be for you. Not every outlet is going to be the right one for you. So you have to find the right one for yourself. Then we have Michael, oh my goodness, how do I say that? Michaelite, which is the third eye, um, third eye chakra. If you come with that gift, naturally you're going to be able to see, obviously, strong intuition and perception, and like, to the next level. You Because it's related to Archangel Michael, you're going to have a lot of strong principles and integrity, and you're going to probably have good boundaries for your personal life. Maybe if you're not in alignment yet, you might have issues with that, because you need to learn to quickly but it will be easier for you than other people to set those boundaries, because it's it's almost part of your personality. They are very protective, obviously. They can quickly see in the astral planes and identify the different beings with quick training, because they're naturally born with this ability. So these people that are related third eye with Archangel Michael are going to be able to be very good with identifying the different entities, and is it okay or no, do I need to run or no, do I need to fight or no. And it's seconds, it doesn't take more than a second for them to pick it up. Problem with these people, one of the challenges is that they might doubt themselves a lot, these people, because they see so much, they might have doubts. So they have to learn to have more faith in themselves, and to trust themselves, to trust in the instincts, to speak their truth regardless if people want to hear it or no, but just find the right place, because there will be people that don't understand where you're coming from because of your background, and they will be looking to put you down. So you have to learn to speak your truth in a very diplomatic and tactful way. They need to be a little more flexible, because Archangel Michael is like the justice division to the core, and these people can also have that um, personality where they need to learn to be a little more flexible in their thinking, that not everything has to be white or black, it could be in between, in order for them to be more in alignment with how they can do the job here. And then we have the Archangel Camille for the crown. The crown, obviously these people are, you know they're going to be very balanced, if they're in alignment. um, they will be very sensitive to energies seen and unseen, whether it is people or astral energies or higher plane energies, or just different energies, including different type of beings from other realms and dimension. They're going to be very sensitive to that. They can read energy very quickly. um, they're very dynamic, they can get things done, they are able to empower others, and really teach others how to master their own destiny. This It would be good for these people to learn different modalities in order for them to appreciate everything that they tap into, but they cannot understand it unless they learn from different things. What else can I tell you about them? They If they're not in alignment, they are going to have an issue with their higher self, meaning that they might no understand that they're creating their future, that they are creating the traumas and challenges that they're experiencing. So they might take a victim mentality until they get in alignment with who they are and what they're here for. I hope that makes sense. Also wanted to talk about, oh my god, it's so much. I also wanted to talk about, please let me know if you have any comments before I move on, because okay, I didn't even see the comments before. Um, so hello everyone. Hello Danielle, Ariana. Oh my goodness. How do you know about my mother's? Okay, maybe somebody else. So, where can you learn more about these energy gifts and how to develop them? Um, a lot of this information, there are different trainings that you could do, like Akashi reading training. If there are some people that are charging two, three, 4,000, $5,000 for those type of trainings, and the training honestly is like take a pendulum, they give you a graph, and then you with the pendulum you have to find your answers. You can easily do that with what I gave you in the Awakening the Video program. If you have a pendulum, go through that graph and ask which one is mine. Is it in line 1, line 2, line 3? If you need to more, if you're in the Awakening the Video program and you want to do that and you are not sure how to do it, email me, because I don't want you to pay three, four, $5,000 for something that you could easily do with a pendulum. If you are a medium channeler, you could go into the Akashic records yourself and pull this information. If you're not advanced at pulling this information, you could pay an Akashic reader to get that information for you. But honestly, I think you should be able to do it if you're meditating and going to the Akashic records and pull this information. It might take you a couple of weeks because you're going to go line by one. Tell me the training, and then you might hear the training, or if you're not advanced, you might have to say, is the training in line one, and you write it down and yes or no, yes or no. So you have to train yourself. But worst case scenario, you pay someone to read it for you, to pull that information from the Akashic records for you. The Sakielite is Sakiel, like Archangel Sakiel. And that's for the sacral chakra. So that's me. 100%. Hello, nice to see you. Okay, so there was, yeah. If it's something personal, email me, because I don't want your private information to be here on the video. You guys, this is going to be on the video, so we don't know who's going to be watching this later, and we don't want your personal business on a public forum like this one. Now, one thing is, I gave you the soul training in the archangelic gifts that you come with. Like I said, some people, we come with all of those trainings available to us, and it is our job to align in order for us to be able to receive all those trainings. And what I mean is, until you go through a process of reflection, healing, you cannot activate all those trainings for yourself. So how do you go through that process of reflection? Is key, because a lot of people tell me, and I see a lot of clients every week, guys. I'm not kidding when people tell me, how do I reflect? I mean, like, do I just sit there and think? And it's more than that. So when you're reflecting on a specific issue, you gotta find what is the last trigger. Let's say I had an argument with a friend, and the friend told me, I don't know, let's say, like, she told me I was abusive. And that triggered me because, oh my goodness, why is this happening to me again? And now my friend thinks I'm abusive and I'm gonna lose my friend. Well, that's a trigger. So now I have to go into, how did I feel when she told me this? Why did I feel like that? When was the last time this happened before this? How did I feel then? And then I'm going to take it all the way back onto the farther that I can take it to the beginning. Now, what I know for sure is that most of the time those issues are not in this life. This is just when we reactivated the trauma at the soul level. But a lot of the time those issues are going to be in a past life or even parallel lives. So this is where I want to talk about parallel lives, because I think past life, you can go into a quantum healing, past life regression session, meditation in your home that you can do yourself. So how do you find the parallel life issues is key, because if there are things that you're dealing with that you don't know where it's coming from, and you already took it back to the beginning, and you cannot find any more, and you still stuck, and you're like, how do I overcome this problem? It's a big problem. I want to get rid of this problem. It has affected my life. It's time for it to be, I want to be done with it. You might find the issue in a parallel life. I know a lot of people don't talk about this because there's no evidence, and you really have to do your job. Some people might call me crazy because I'm talking about this, and whatever. But I think it's important, because a lot of the issues, you might find clues in other lives that are parallel realities or past lives. And if you don't know about this, you're not going to be looking for these clues when you're dreaming. And most of the time, the answers are going to come when you're sleeping and you're dreaming, or you hear something or you feel something, right? You know, when you're waking up and you're still in between, like you could easily go back to sleep, that's a perfect time for you to go through your dream, because you can easily see, oh, okay, I had a dream with this, interesting. And then at that moment, because you're actively thinking about your dream, if you went to dream with an intention, show me please, where is this problem coming from? Why am I repeating this problem? You go to sleep, in the morning you think, what did I dream? And then in that process, you might also start hearing or seeing or having vision. It is your job to do the meditation to pull the answer. A lot of people say, I don't dream. That's BS. Everybody dreams. You just not training yourself to remember what you're dreaming. So when you're doing the meditation, when you wake up and you still don't look at your phone, don't talk to nobody, don't do anything, just meditate and think, walk through your dream again. What do I remember? And then eventually you're going to start remembering, and you can ask, why is this happening again? And you might see a memory from childhood. You might be taken into another life where something similar is happening. This happens all the time to me. So that's why I'm telling you that this is possible, because it happens all the time, where I can go into another life and see how that me over there is living, experiencing something similar. And sometimes I can do things for that person and do things that are going to help that me in that other reality and me here now, because the moment that that version of myself heals, I receive the healing here too. So you will see that sometimes you have so much drama and you're like, where is this coming from? I don't get it. I don't get it. You go into your dreams, you're going to get the clues. And then if you're advanced, you're going to be able to release it. And at that moment, even if you're not advanced, just imagine yourself that you're helping. I release it. I want to transmute it. I'm calling my spirit team. Please help me with this. You might start feeling crazy things. Don't freak out, because you might start feeling like energy is moving and like pulling, and maybe something's trying to push you down, and it's all energy trying to leave your body because it's healing. But if you freak out and you stop the healing process. So you just cheated yourself out of a healing moment. So, anyways, when you're in other lives, you're going to see that people might look different, but you will recognize the soul's essence if it's somebody that is here with you now in this life. Most of the time, you're going to get a clue that it is something that is happening now, because maybe you're wearing the same thing that you were wearing before you go to bed. Maybe you notice that the bedspread is the same as the one that you have here, because your higher self is trying to tell you, it is the same, you idiot, pay attention. This is what's happening now in another version. So your higher self is treating you like a child because you're not mature enough to understand it's a different life and I need to do something for this. So you will see different, maybe you spoke to somebody that you haven't spoken to in 5 years, and in that night you had a dream with that person, and that person comes and help you with something. It is because they're trying to show you that this is something that is happening for this life, it's affecting you here now, but it's something that is happening in another reality too, and somehow there was healing that needed to happen. I know that sounds far-fetched. I know. It is my, I've been asked to share. I'm sharing. You can think whatever you want to think. If it helps you, it helps you. If it doesn't, move on. Because I don't want to start dealing with that, the fact that I have to defend myself, and it's already some of that going on. So I don't like that type of energy, and I refuse that type of energy. So one of the things that I was given recently, and you guys know that I love learning about Ifa and its teachings. And I had a revelation with Ebe Orun, and I was talking to an elder, and he confirmed some of the things that I received in the revelation. And one of the things that left me completely in awe is how, in the revelation I was given, that this hive mind that is part of your divine higher self influences you. And there is so much influence there that more than what people believe, or of what we know. I mean, a lot of people are not talking about Eve Orum, and I think it's because it, is there is there evidence? There is no evidence, right? So you have to believe or not believe, and it is the same with parallel lives, where sometimes people are not going to believe that there are parallel lives because they have to see, and they don't, otherwise they don't believe. So if you're into the occult, hopefully you understand, and you can do your own meditations to pull your own answers, because I truly believe that we have to be able to meditate to get our own answers. Whatever I give you or anyone gives you should be a conversation. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to believe everything I say. It's a conversation. I'm sharing my opinion, my experience, my journey. Doesn't mean that it's true for everybody else. So I just wanted people to be more conscious of that. In some occult societies, we have information, and I'll give this to those that are in the Awakening the Healer program, because I cannot be giving this information just to anyone. I don't know who you are, right? Unless I have a personal conversation with you. There is some secret societies that have very specific ways to pull the information about where you come from before this lifetime. Is Eve Orum one of those? Perhaps, maybe if you get a reading, it will give you some of that information if you really want to know some of that. In some other places, in some other practices, is you have to go through certain initiations to pull the where were you before this life and what gifts you come through with. And it is interesting though, because some of those initiations, um I cannot say too much because it's secret stuff, but some of those things that you receive when you go through the initiations are things that you could tap into if you are really good at meditating, and you don't have to go through all those initiations, is what I'm saying. So I think people overdo the initiations because they think everything has to be initiation, and they don't realize you only when you are spiritually mature enough for some of these initiations can you go through those initiations. In one of the occult practices that I am in, you cannot join unless you're very, very strong at your mediumship abilities and your spiritual maturity. So, yeah, my lips are peeling. Okay, so I think, okay, so you'll email me. Um, yeah, email me. And I'm sorry to hear about that, Tatiana. What the more this is what I believe, the more challenges that we have, the more challenges that we experience, is because we're supposed to be doing more work. And the more challenges you experience, the more you'll be able to help a lot of people that experience the same things that you experience. And I think it's a blessing in disguise, because if you don't know, if you haven't been through a lot of trauma, you cannot help many people. It's going to be surface level compared to if you really experience a lot of the things that you have experienced. So what else? Is 222. What else? I completely lost track of what I was saying, and I completely forgot. So if people don't have any questions, I think I'm going to leave it here. Anything that I need to clarify in terms of I would recommend for people to go through the soul trainings and soul gifts again, so that you can see which one you identify with, and see if there is things that make sense to you. If you are in the video program, you should be able to have, I put a graph there for those people that are in the video program. Mm. So let me put it right here. Okay, so I think we're gonna leave it there. I think there was something else that I wanted to talk about, and I completely lost track of what it was. Honestly, I forgot. Having one of those moments. Um, yeah. Okay, so I did wanted to quickly mention this. The I did a video a while ago about the altar and the dangers of the altars. And the reason why I did the video was because there were some people reaching out that were not spiritually mature enough to be working with some of those entities that they wanted to work with. And that is a little dangerous for some people if they don't have the spiritual maturity. Okay, when you bring a statue or painting or whatever, and you are giving energy to that, and it is not properly cleansed, something else can come in and behave and trick you, because one of the things that we have the most in the astral planes is the tricksters, spirits that love just having fun. But I also felt guilty about doing the video because I don't want to discourage people from connecting to different energies, whether they are beginners or not. And what I'm saying is, when you have an attraction, a natural attraction to an entity, a spirit guy, a misterio, a luad, orisha, whatever it is your job to nurture that relationship so that you can receive the information from the spirit guide directly, in order for you to continue and get the relationship to become a real relationship. Not just like, I think I know you, but I don't know you. When you see somebody at the supermarket or at a store or at a party, and you don't know their name, but you think you know them. You might know their name, but you don't really know their last name, and it's just like passing relationship. That's what I'm talking about. We're gonna have a passing relationship with some of these entities because you can easily be manipulated by trickster energies to present themselves as something that they're not. And then you're thinking that you're working with, whoever it is, and it is not. And energy is getting a little intense. So I think the energy is spiking up a little bit because I have someone in mind. I think everybody knows I love Saint Martha. Like, I mean, seriously, like I love her, and I love her energy. And any energy that I know, that I study, I'm always looking for the clues about how they relate. So, anyways, I did a video on Orisha Yewat, and there were some things that I was like, oh my god, they're similar, a little bit. Anyways, my point is, I don't want to discourage you from developing a relationship with these entities out of, because of fear. But at the same time, that video, and I think it left me feeling a little like disappointed with myself, because I don't want to create fear in you or anybody else. I just want you guys to be cautious about who you decide to work with and who you decide to put in altar for, so that it can come from the right place, from the heart. And why that is important is because I have seen so many people that have worked with entities and come to find out they were not working with the right entities. They were being tricked, is what I'm saying. So when you start working with this, with the any energies in the astral plane, you don't know if it's where it's coming from, right? So you might think it's one thing and it's another. So you do have to develop your ability to discern energy. And that comes with training, that comes with practice, that comes with you understanding things that people cannot give you for you. You have to experience that. So the more that you practice intentionally and the more that you spend time getting to know the different energies that are coming through for you, it's going to help you determine if you're making the right choice by putting or not putting in altar. And I'm not saying that it has to be 20 things. It could just be one thing. You can put in altar with just one thing. And I just wanted to clarify that because I think some people have asked me after that, oh my God, we have to break it down. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you have to determine, do you feel good? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you feeling okay? Are you feeling mental clarity? Are you feeling like you're making progress? Are you being bothered by things that you don't know what it is? Are energies coming to you when you're sleeping? Are you feeling someone sitting next to you when you're sleeping or lay down with you? Are you feeling like there is a lot of confusion going on because or a lot of doubts? Do you feel like you got to know how you feel, and that will determine what needs to happen. Are you making progress since you started working with this energy? Are you not making progress? Did you lose your job? Did you lose your partner? So you have to take a lot of things into consideration. And sometimes once you start working with an energy, you will lose some things and some people because you're leveling up, but sometimes it's because you're working with the wrong energy that is not in alignment with your soul's evolution and the track that you're supposed to be going through. So I had a case of someone that wanted to talk to me, and this guy was working with a spirit guy, and out of nowhere he lost his car, he lost his job and his girlfriend, and everything just was going downhill. It's like, well, and then he wasn't sleeping okay, he was feeling a lot of things, and it's like, well, all of that stuff is a red warning. Even before doing anything, like it was just a conversation, it wasn't a reading or anything, but that was a major red warning because you shouldn't have all those complications all at once, all within such a short time. Obviously you might be going through external influences that are affecting your life, and a lot of the times happens when because the altar is a portal. It's almost like a portal. The painting might have nothing unless you baptize it properly, but the moment that you sit there with your open heart and you're communicating and you're really having this conversation, you're in the astral plane. And if the place is not properly protected and you don't know how to do all of that, then what you allow, you have no control over, and they're easy to trick people. And that's why I did that video. But it doesn't mean everything is going to happen like that, especially if you start working with an entity that has been coming to you in your dreams and you feel good when you tap into that energy. Things feel good. You feel that energetic flow and you're like, ooh, like excited, and it feels good, right? It's different than, oh shit, I think I'm gonna die, or you're gonna, like I feel like I'm gonna be attacked at any moment. That's different, and that's what I was talking about. And I'm sorry if I made any one of you, a little afraid. That wasn't my intention. So if you're getting a lot of it's, I mean, honestly, Daryl, is the obstacles are part of the learning process. um you have to analyze what is what is the continue, like the pattern that you're repeating, because a lot of the time the patterns is because you're not learning, you're not breaking the pattern, and you have to break the pattern, and you will continue to experience a lot of issues until you break the pattern. And it's part of the process. Like the more that we resist pushing through and breaking the pattern, the more we're going to get challenges, because it's like, wake up, it's time, it's time. So it's not so much about learning. That's what I was telling someone the other day. It's about what we put into practice. Are we reflecting? Do we know how to reflect? Which is why I was talking a little bit about that. And I think I did a video blog post a couple of days ago or yesterday about reflection, and I put a list. Check it out, because there are maybe like 30 different words there. Pick, go through that list. If you find things that are in that list that describe your current situation, that means that there is healing to be done to release those things from being embarrassed, angry, jealous, envious. I mean, the whole list is, see if I can pull it up real quick, because I think people need to learn how to reflect. And a lot of, I know it, people think I'm just going to close my eyes and that's it. It's an active participation to reflect properly, and be able to go back to the origin, so that you stop repeating and you can break the cycle. It's not just about closing your eyes and meditating. It's before you even get to the meditation where you astral traveling, we need to be paying attention to, am I angry with anyone? Do I need to forgive anyone? W- Do I feel worthy? Do I feel joy in my life? Those are the basic things before we try to travel to another dimension. We need to be good. Like, we need to be good. So if there are things like that, we need to take that into consideration and go through the healing process. And it's not easy. It is one of the hardest things that you're going to do. But then when you finish with that, there is always going to be something more. But the heavy duty part is going to be done, so that then you can go where you need to go, experience what you need to experience, and it's all part of the process. Um, I know that doesn't sound like a really good answer, but it's the best that I can give you right now. So thank you so much, everyone. I think I'm going to leave it here because I forgot the other thing that I wanted to talk about. Um, and I completely forgot. So thank you so much. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for being here. Thank you.